or miss it. What are you doing? See, now, there we go. That was horrible. Excessive discomfort. Not exactly sure why it had that failure condition. All right, good morning, everybody. So I am kind of running a bit of a random route here. We just finished a ride with a customer that was really rough. It was a failure. I don't know, it's like the system's sort of still waking up to make it sound a bit more human. It's like it's having a rough morning. We're in assertive mode. Initially, there was some really frustrating braking, kind of stuttery, jolty braking, and then a blatant staging issue. We were about as close as we are to this light here, needing to take a left on a different street, and the vehicle got into the middle or right lane, and I had to do a lane change cancellation because that was just bad. That wasn't accurate. And that's, oh man, way too fast through that area. Can't really blame the Beta too much there. Lots of wild dips crossing over Convoy Street, so I took over. Vehicle was approaching excessive dips in the road at high speeds, wanted to avoid an issue. All right, well, there we go. Again, I don't necessarily blame that part for the Beta. I mean, similar to speed bumps, I think it would make sense for there to be some just precautionary slowdown when coming across an intersection like that. Maybe there's a way Tesla can flag certain intersections as having uneven entry points. I don't know. Let's get the map back to a normal mode here. People seem to be a bit on one too. I don't know. It's California. When it's overcast and wet out, they forget how to drive. Even though it wasn't all that good to begin with. Why is this still... There we go. So we got a 2-point destination here. That's fine. At least I don't have a customer right now because the comfort level is already abysmal as far as reacting to everything. Might also be my own frustration adding to it, so I do need to kind of disassociate that from the driving experience to a degree because it's still sensible. But again, 2-point destination. I didn't want to navigate just straight to the charging station. Jeez, man, if you're gonna go, commit to it. My gosh. The start to accelerate and then immediately hitting the brakes, that's one of those moments that can be a discomfort failure for a RoboTaxi trip, because just an unnecessary, uncomfortable maneuver, especially if it happens more than once on a trip. It's kind of my deal with the discomfort. If it's uncomfortable like that, but not like extremely cringy, then I might give it one more chance. But if it does that twice, that's it. That's a disqualified based on excessive discomfort. Brain's a little all over the place. Let's see how we make it through this intersection, especially with all these motorcycle cops right there. Let's not embarrass ourselves in front of law enforcement. There we go. And now we're getting into the right lane, which is fine. But yeah, getting back to my original point, didn't want to go straight to, man, you had to get in the lane that's just got the ridiculous line of cracks along the left tires. We're gonna go charge, but to go straight there would have been a little bit too short and maybe not as eventful, so I decided to make it a 2-point trip. Skip through these lights and we're off. It's like me who's trying to race these motorcycle cops. Let's not give them a reason. They are cruising a little wide in their lane here. There we go. We'll let them go on their way. Well, one of the reasons that I wanted to do this video, not only to get more content, but just to see if I can, you know, catch the FSD in its bad mood, or maybe persuade Mew here to wake up and get it together. We got a lot of work to do. I don't know how long the weather's really going to be like this. It's not bad. The FSD should function just fine in this weather. Let me go ahead and delete this waypoint before I forget, since we're in the right lane and we got to get over. We are clear behind us. This road is a mess. All right, there we go. We are... Oh, that looks more interesting. Let's take that second course. It looks more chaotic than the first. All right, cool. We're making our way to the Balboa Supercharger that I frequent right next to Vaughn's. Grab a good sandwich, get some breakfast. But wanted to be able to get more trips like this. I had an idea of sort of like between customer trips to maybe do a random nav route. I know the random sort of routes or the kind of my happenings in the day where I'm driving can be a pretty cool way to see some random courses in the Beta trying things that might be different or might not be seen every day. Because a lot of people have a pretty standard commute. I don't know why it took me so long to think of that word, where you pretty much go to work and back, or perhaps go to the gym and back, or go get some groceries, but you have your pretty standard operating route with Mew and I. Mew being my car, Mjolnir, Mew Mew, as the wife calls him, for anybody who's like, who the hell is Mew? Our paths are never consistent. Random is in our nature, which is why it's such a good way to test the system as a RoboTaxi and, you know, a general solution, because no 2 points that I travel are really the same. I've said before that you could pretty much pick any 2 points in the San Diego or Southern California region, and there's a chance I'm driving it. Well, we'll see how we handle these back roads. You can see the windshield's misting up pretty good here from the early morning fog. I don't know if it actually rained, but we definitely have a heavy marine layer and fog this morning. Cruising to the residential streets probably won't be all that entertaining, to be honest, but we'll see how it handles stuff. If there's any massive dips or weird construction, all sorts of things want to get in the way to make this a failure. It's almost like the world wasn't built with robotaxis in mind. Aside from this morning's performance, though, I've been very impressed with Assertive and how it's handled itself, contrary to my criticisms of Assertive in the past, although this morning's been a bit more indicative of what I expected. It's doing pretty good. I'm tempted to mess around more. Well, this could be a pretty gnarly dip, but see, now we're decelerating. So, I'm curious, what do you guys think? Was that due to detecting an excessive elevation change or an excessive angle? Because that was good. If it treated every gutter scenario or crossing point where a dip could be like that, we would have far less interventions. Sorry. Apparently I'm still waking up too. No, but that was pretty good. I liked that. I totally forgot what I was saying beforehand. We're doing well. We'll be getting onto the main road here. Oh, okay, yeah, we're creeping up by Sprouts and such, next to the DMV and Home Depot and all. Okay, I know where we're at now. Don't travel through too many residential spots like this. Let's see, here's an excessive elevation change or a dip scenario, but you have a stop sign next to it, so it's fine. You don't really have to worry about nose diving into it as much. Here we go. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Not too bad. Ugh. Looking forward to getting 11.4 at some point. Still on 11.3.6. I usually keep that in the thumbnail or in the title, that way nobody's confused. But yeah, we're in a bit of a lag on getting this next rollout. Well, I should say at least the wide release. I know that from the OG tester point of view, and they've been getting updates left and right. It's been exciting for them. All right, here we go. Early staging problem. How will we treat this? Because we need to get over. There we go. That was good. That was good. So when you have lines like this where the vehicles really back up, that's where it becomes increasingly important to stage the route properly. Otherwise, you could get bullied out of a turn or miss it. What are you doing? See, now, there we go. That was horrible. Excessive discomfort. Not exactly sure why it had that failure condition. System began to spaz out with the path planning wanting to make an immediate left turn against what the route was suggesting. All right, I hope that was worded well. I apologize. And you got 10 seconds. It can be a bit of a fluster. So, yeah, that was really bad. That's more common or more indicative of my criticism of Assertive. I've seen that behavior more on Assertive. Contrary to the other night, where it killed 6 trips at 100% success. So the potential for it to do the job really well is there, but then you have scenarios like that, like, oh my god, if there was a customer in the car, that would have been atrocious. That would have been so uncomfortable. So, and the second it would have started, I would have taken over. I am well tuned enough to the system to know, or to sort of feel or intuit those situations and have disengaged the second it started to go haywire when I do have a customer with me. By myself, I'll let it do more and show you guys more of the craziness going on. But given we had a light scenario there and an impatient truck behind us, I took over to move us along. But I think I showed you enough of what was happening. So let me know what you think down in the comments of what might have caused that. But that is a prime example of the excessive discomfort category. You could almost call it staging as a problem, because it wanted to, or a route, staging and route accuracy for me I sort of put in the same umbrella. But with that, the discomfort factor was definitely more prevalent. It was weird. The system seemed to be confused, I think, of where it was, because it was trying to early stage to get behind those people. So that's tough. That is not going to be the easiest thing to iron out to a really reliable number. I don't know if maybe because it was in that kind of neutral yellow zone before the turn lane even started, if it thought it had to turn to, I don't know, prioritize a safer course. Again, let me know what you all think down below. That was an interesting little end to the trip. But I'm going to get plugged up so I can get some more customers and keep on rolling. Thank you so much for the view. Take care.